Welcome. This Real Talk 101, The Devil Exposed, on a Sunday afternoon, and you broadcast media from 2 to 4 p.m. As you can see, both brothers are back in the house, and we back at the desk. You know we got some stuff to talk about. If this is your first time joining us on a week-to-week basis, what we do here is we speak about the past week's revelations, readings, conversations that we've had with the Most High, the studies that we've had, and how he's intricately not only exposed who he really is step by step. Remember, he's so vast, we can learn about him forever. But he's also exposed the moves of the enemy and how he moved against us and how we can better protect ourselves and defend against the enemy's attacks that we are constantly under. What I usually ask people to do when you guys tune in is to say a silent prayer in your heart. It's very important. I can never underestimate this because, like I always say, me and my brother could be up here telling you anything. There's like a lot of people who have gone deep into knowledge and wisdom and understanding. They could be telling you anything, but the true discerner, or the truest one is false, is the Holy Ruach HaKodesh, or Holy Spirit, as you call it. We like to request that you say a prayer for him to now enter your heart and into your mind to give you discernment about the things that we speak about. And if he moves you in a certain type of way, do not resist him, but yield to him, and you will be well on your way and well on your path to having a deeper understanding of not only who the Father is, but what we speak about. But definitely do that. What we usually do too to open up the show is we have prayer requests. We say a word of prayer and invoke the Spirit, and we testify, and we go into whatever he gives us. No set plan, no set script, just the utterances the Spirit gives us. And truthfully, I'd rather have it no other way. Because me and my brother, we ain't got nothing to give you to really help you from ourselves. We're just here to be used as vessels by the Father to give you a message from him. And that's what every, in my opinion, servant of the Most High should do, whether professed or not. So yeah, that's what we do on a week-to-week basis. I'm in the house. My brother Owen is in the house. How you doing, bro?
It feels good being back at the desk, bro.
Yes, indeed.
You know, so as soon as the doctor told me I could put some pressure on his foot, that's what I did. I put pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
Put the crutches to the side. And just, I'm gonna make sure to get back right, you know, through the help of the Most High. But I can't complain. Blessed, you know, beyond what I deserve. But, you know, things is rough. They could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm thinking for my health. I don't feel the greatest at all the time, but COVID ain't got nothing on.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna testify that too, because I honestly believe, man, the Most High, His covenant is real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, grace and mercy is real. Even when we don't deserve it, and for the most part, we don't deserve it. But He protects us from ourselves. I used to always pray, man, protect me from myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't always have my best interest at heart. Right? You know what I'm saying? With what I do, I don't really concern myself.
I should.
No, I don't. I don't. You know, I know damn well certain things you shouldn't be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But He's still merciful. You know what I'm saying? And He's gracious. That's just His character towards His people. You know what I'm saying? He's merciful towards the world as well, but He has nothing but love for His people. You know who we are. You know where we come from. You know what we're the women of. You know how our ancestors used to get down. And He set provisions long time ago in our behalf. You just gotta believe that that's what He did. I don't understand. I say it all the time. I've been tested 9 times, you know what I'm saying? I get to that as far as the testimony. But it ain't that long. You know, somebody in Jeanette's job, it was said that they was exposed to COVID. So everybody had to go get tested. So the girl she went with, the girl who was in the room with her test result came back positive for COVID. So that's came back negative. They with each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know what to take this as. You know? I don't know what it is, or you can just accept it as being covered. You know what I'm saying? As a covering that the Most High has.
How else can you look at it? It's too ambiguous. It seems like it does what it wants. So if it's something that no human being can control, then who is in control?
Most High. You know, and I'm not saying that, you know, anybody that has contracted this virus or whatever, or maybe succumbed to it, that the Most High ain't rock with them or nothing like that. I would never say that. I can speak for me. You know what I'm saying? Me and my household, what it is that my family, how He's protected me. My mother had it, stepfather too. And I think my grandmother, when she passed, had COVID, but they recovered from it. You know what I'm saying? I stopped going to their house. I'm not out here tripping. It seems to me like the more people worry about it, the easier it is for them to contract it. You know what I'm saying? When you get the stressing, but fear. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm blessed. Blessed to be back here, leg coming along. Prayer request, keep my family in prayer. You know, there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff. It's been an interesting year, you know, so far. I knew it was going to be a rough one coming on the heels of 2020. Once we got to seeing everything clear, I mean, there's only one way now, I believe, for us, you know what I'm saying, for the Most High's people, things about to actually start getting a little better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think we're about to start seeing this wealth that the Most High said He's going to bring us, this substance, great substance that He's going to bring us out with. I believe is about to start coming.
Don't be surprised.
He had to beat some shit. He had to break some stuff down first, you know, so we won't make the same mistakes. You know, that's his process. You know, you tell you what's coming. You know you're gonna mess up. Punish you. You know what I'm saying? Then give you a glimpse of what's coming, so you'll know. Don't do that again. You know, we're not gonna be able to mess up again. It's all everything that could possibly have been done has been done. You know what I'm saying? We know who He is now. We know who the Father is now. Our ancestors knew Him. They disregarded Him. We didn't know Him coming into this thing. We knew about somebody or something, some deity that was placed in His position, usurped. But now that we know who He is, ain't nobody going back to Baal, Baali, or Shaitan, whoever you want to call Him. If you ain't the Most High Yah, the Elohim of this book right here, of our people's history, then, you know, you're faking anyway. But, man, just keep the family in prayer, bro. Myself, my spiritual growth. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I've been a little dormant. My mind, I ain't gonna lie. I'll wait. Yeah, just keep those who still, just period in general, all of us who are pressing forward through this life in general. I already know, you ain't gotta worry about calling no specific names. I take care of that at the end. But just anybody that's pressing through this thing and hopes for, you know, definitely hold on. But, you know, just, you know, because it's just, we ain't before something, man. It seems like it's been a long time since we've even come to understand this information over the past few years, right? It's like, man, it's like everything just, it's a lot heavier, though. You know, just as the Most High to continue to do what He's been doing with us, man, and that's sustaining us.
Strength to the chosen, strength to the elect, man. For real.
Strength to endure.
Yep.
Keep us in this thing.
I thank the Most High always too. This is what keeps coming back to my mind. There have been some chapters I've read in the Word. The Most High goes in on telling people what's going to happen if they jack up. And man, it's horrible. He does it several times. He does it with His prophets, with His servants. There are always portions of solace at the end. He's like, but then I will hear when they cry out. I will reconcile them unto myself. I will remember the covenant that I had with their fathers. When He starts talking about that, it's how can you not know that He's in control? That He's not in control. I mean, that He is in control. So that's the correct way. If He tells you what the punishment is going to be, knows that you're going to mess up and be exacted that same punishment, but then tells you He's going to reconcile you, the whole plan is laid out.
Perfect.
From start to finish.
Perfect.
And if He knows that, He said it, He ain't lied yet.
And we win.
And we win.
We win in it.
By no merit of our own. We win because of His great namesake. Because His name is on the line, as it always has been. We could talk the whole show about that right there. We had, but we definitely got to pray. They ain't even gonna move forward without that. Myself, prayer request is the same. Family, health, continued healing of any injuries, man. That really the minor setbacks the devil done threw up, try to get us to be discouraged. Power and strength to those who are trying to stand firm, stay solid. You know what I'm saying? Stand on the word, stand on the conviction, and let nobody move you, because in the end, it's going to be just you and the Father, for real. Everybody else has their own salvation to work out with fear and trembling. So don't allow anybody else to sway yours. You keep that thing 100 with the Father, He will keep it 100 with you. Let's pray. Most High Yah, thanks and praise to Your marvelous name. Glory, majesty, and power to Your marvelous name forever and ever. Just reading Enoch yesterday, he was talking about he saw You on the throne. Of course, head was white as wool, just like it says in Daniel and Revelation. Enoch also confirms that. But he was like, man, you had on a robe that is indescribable. I just started thinking about that. A robe that is indescribable. Father, the glory of your robe doesn't even cover the glory that you inherently have, because all that are around you receive light and life by your glory. So if your robe is covering that, of course your robe will be indescribable. I thank you for small nuggets like that whenever I read your word, and the small signs, like the little tweaks that I get in my mind, showing me how powerful you are, who you are, and what you represent, and how you got my back, me and my brother's back, for some reason still bewilders me. So the prayer requests that are being offered up, not only by those who are listening to the sound of my voice, who we don't know about, but the ones that have been professed here as well. Father, I know you got that in the palm of your hand. Everything else is worked out. It's all worked out. Everything is worked out perfectly in your plan. Whether we got good things to go through or bad, everything is worked out, because in the end, just like my brother said, we win. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Continue to be with the Boyd Gillis family and the Tramel Brooks family, Father. Please be with both of our families and us as we stand tall and in the truth and in the convictions that you've given us, man. You know the things that we deal with, the squeeze, the slight persecution that we're going through right now. Ain't nothing compared to what's to come. We must remain firm and must remain strong. We already know who wins this whole thing. It's you, Father. We on your side. Definitely on your side. I ask that you be with those who enter and exit out of the studio. Be with Marcus, man. He told me about his family losing so many loved ones over the past week. I pray that you comfort and be with his family, Father, and give him the strength also, as well as his family members, to press on and hopefully get closer to you in difficult times. A lot of people losing loved ones. Think about the Bonner family. Please continue to be with them as they lost their father recently. I think it will continue to be with the Fordham family and with my cousins, ones dealing with the loss of both of their parents. Man, so much loss going on right now. And it just shows that this thing is about to be resolved. The consummation is about to come to pass, because those who you are allowing to fall asleep, their fates are secure. I pray that they are in favor, on your side, and they're going to those special habitations that are being guarded by angels in profound quiet, where they should have peace and rest, never ending, Father. I look forward to that. See, when we have studied your word, we gain knowledge of what you have prepared for us. All fear is thrown out the window. Fear of even death, because one day death is going to die, and you're going to be the one that kills it. So I'm like, it's not a lot to really worry about in this life. But I pray you reveal your truth, reveal your nature to those who you are allowing to still be in darkness and blindness right now. It could be for a special point in their life to where they are to receive it. I thank you for the conversations that I've had this week with certain people where light bulbs have come on. And you only know the authenticity of that. Maybe it was prescribed from the start of time when my spirit was put into this body to have that conversation. So at that point, that person can at least start down the path to realize who you really are. See, I love how that stuff comes together, because that's how your spirit works. And that is the workings of the master plan that you already had before the foundations of the world were even laid. It's like you decided that the word, the lamb, was to be sacrificed before the foundations of the world. Father, you got this in the palm of your hand. But right now, you just got two witnesses sitting in front of you, ready, willing, and able again to be possessed by the Ruach, which we must have, because we ain't nothing without it. So please do that. Send that down upon us and open up the ears, hearts, and minds of those who are listening, so that they can hear your voice. And may the words that are spoken here today carry over past today and ring out in the heads and in the minds of those who hear it at the particular time that you've already set aside for them to have revelations, Father. We pray that they believe you, especially those who are already receiving revelations about these last days and about the perils which are to come and how to be prepared for them, Father, because we can't trust man. Can't trust nothing we see around us. The spiritual battle is real. It's a full-fledged war right now. We see what's going on in Afghanistan. We're seeing how the other nations and other countries are practicing artillery drills from many major seas, many major bodies of water, to just deflect and show their power. You don't know what's around the corner. Wars and rumors of wars, and what it says in your last book said would be prevalent around the day. We can see that through the news. We are not shaken. We are not disturbed. For all these things were set in place from the very beginning. The only thing we need to be doing is clinging to your unchanging hand and hiding underneath your wings. Your wings are very broad and very great. They can cover all of us, which they continue to do. Continue to keep us COVID free and protect us in our many travels and protect our loved ones, man. Because the enemy know he can't get at us. So he's going to try to be sucked and get it down. So we pray a hedge of protection around them. The enemy can't get at them. Dispel the spirit of fear, the spirit of angst, and the spirit of doubt in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. and all of our family and friends, man, because they would love to press buttons, man. But he about to get his anyway, so I ain't really sweating it. Continue to be with us in this session, and in your name I pray.
Amen.
Man, I got testimonies of the Yang. Today's show we entitled Most High, Most Praise. And I got that phrase from all praise to the Most High, my cousin, Lloyd Brooks, and Brother Mike Jones, we call Bishop. We meet every Monday night just to rap about the word, nothing else, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's quote unquote church for us. It's the assembly of believers in the word, in the name, and we just rap about the Most High and how good He is. And I'm happy that is kicked up again. For a while, we wasn't doing it, but it seemed to have come back around right when I needed it. For the past 2 weeks on Mondays, we've been doing it. It's been very powerful and an excellent propellant for myself going into the week. This past week, on Sunday morning, I sprained my ankle viciously. I think it's probably the reason why I wasn't in here last week. But in the midst of conversing with my brother, telling him about the injury, man, the Most High just impressed upon me. He was like, remember the things that I had told you in regards to what is going to be possible and what will not be possible in these last days. And with that statement that he made to me, man, I reached down my right hand and touched the infected area and said a prayer over my injury that nothing would be wrong. You know what I'm saying? No break, no nothing. And I said it in all sincerity. And before I prayed, I apologized for my lack of belief previously, because it comes and it goes. You know, I'm challenged with situations to where, you know what I'm saying, people have been injured, I've been injured, and I'm thinking, it's like, man, where is healing at? You know what I'm saying? And when I had that thought, I would discount myself from it, probably because of the view that I have of all the atrocities and iniquities I've committed. But I've done nothing to merit the privilege of calling down healing from the Most High. So when I realize that, and I have the gall to actually call it down, the boldness to do it, He answers. And He's done it so many times, man. And I want to tell y'all, I had an X-ray on last Sunday. I was in Kaiser Permanente for 4 hours. The process of getting seen, X-rayed, and then diagnosed for this ankle sprain. And actually brought this out. When the doctor talked to me on Sunday, he didn't show me my X-ray. I didn't even think about it. He just didn't show me. He just told me, you need to be wearing a brace, keep that thing elevated, keep it ice, keep it wrapped up. The general things they tell you when you injure your ankle. And this past Thursday, when I visited the podiatrist, he pulled it up. He came in there with such an attitude of like, I can't believe what's going on. He's like, are you really? It's like the question could almost be asked, are you really injured? Because when he put my X-ray up, I had no damage, no bone damage, no fragments, no fractures, no nothing. I just had swollen flesh around the affected area. And he's like, man, you got the cartilage of a 12-year-old. He's like, when he started asking me what I had been doing health-wise, I told him I worked out, took care of myself holistically, was going for my herbs. I was taking ginger and turmeric for the swelling around my ankle. Went down. I was using CBD oil for the pain instead of some pill. But it just the conversation with me is like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. You probably shorten your recovery window by like 2 to 3 weeks, because they were saying like 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm already doing exercises on like for the ankle for rehabilitation, and I'm thankful to the Most High that He heard my prayer and answered. Not that I didn't believe He would do it, but He's doing it, and He's bringing my brother back around. You know what I'm saying? For his injury, that joint is getting better. And I've also found it funny He did it to us at the same time, same dang on ankle. You know, I don't know what it is with that, but Jennifer said it yesterday. She's like, he's like, he get the job now, so y'all be prepared for the time it comes, so y'all be moving.
I know what it is. Right.
He's like, y'all going through this now, so that when the time comes for y'all to be up and moving around, y'all gonna be good. I took that in stride, man. I really did. Another testimony I had, man, I got like 7 of them written down. I don't want to take too much time. Jump in whenever you want, man. But I'll give y'all an update on my boy Brent, because I know that's important. I know y'all been praying for the brother. He's out of the hospital. You know what I'm saying? He's back home with his family. But he's recovering from the residual effects of COVID. He has to practice his breathing. Of course, he has to continue to eat right and boost his immune system. But his heart is dead set on getting this vaccine. I was rapping to him, man, and he He was thankful to be out of an environment, a medical environment, where the virus was still very prevalent. And he was thankful to even begin to start, you know what I'm saying, getting some rest. He was telling me how the cough that he had was keeping him awake, couldn't get a full night's sleep. So now that he's doing that, I'm thankful to the Most High that he started on that path to recovery. But just like we said, man, it was like, people seem to be getting this thing random. You just broke down the whole situation with Jeanette, how her girlfriend got it, she didn't. One thing Brent told me about this whole ordeal is that when he was in the back of the ambulance, he felt he was going to die. He had to keep his mask on, and then he had oxygen or something like over that. And he said he was telling the paramedics, he's like, man, I can't breathe, this ain't good, this, that, and the third. And it wasn't like they were really paying him any attention. Not only that, they had to reroute him to Laurel Hospital, which is a further hospital than where he lives. He lives in Bowie. He got to go all the way out to Laurel. So he's like, man, he was in there joint praying, calling out on the Most High. He told the Most High, like, man, if you get me through this, I'm yours. I'm your servant. Whatever you need from me, whatever that. And I started thinking about that statement because I made that statement myself in dangerous situations. You see where I'm at now. It could be that some of the trials that we go through, no matter how severe, are strictly to get us to the point to relent and submit to the will of the Most High and finally find out what our purpose is. And that's what I kind of believe happened with Brent. And I said that like that for that reason. Not everything that comes against you is built to take you out. He said he was going to be with you through the fire, through the water. No matter, it's not going to overtake you. It's not going to take you out. But you need to be seeking his face and his voice in the midst of the trial. And once you do that, and you're able to come out on the other side, not only do you have a powerful testimony that can't nobody take away from you, but now you got a responsibility. You got a responsibility to share this information, this testimony with other people in order to open their mind and possibly get them to the point where they can have a caveat with the Most High, where they can have an opportunity to respond to the Most High. And I'm thankful for that, man. I'm thankful. I'm thankful he allowed my boy to still be here. I'm thankful he has a renewed mind and a more serious attitude towards the father, towards his relationship, towards his family. Not saying he didn't have this before, but now I know it's even more fortified. Ain't nothing wrong with fortifying a bit more. You know what I'm saying? This week my tap vest came in. Meech came over, he was like, now you need to get a bulletproof. I was like, hey, ain't nothing wrong with fortifying. Ain't nothing wrong with getting yourself prepared. So when I think about that situation, man, I'm thankful that no matter what the circumstance is, it's always to get us to a better point and a better position if we are seeking his face to be with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And I give him, not only was my boy giving praise, but it's funny because this thing happened to him after I was right here at this desk talking about our interaction, how we came from going out in the world doing whatever we wanted to do to now we praying twice a week. After I testified about that, he got COVID. I don't think any of this stuff is happenstance or luck or chance. We was all planned out, man. And I'm deeply happy that my father has my boy in the palm of his hand, and that he's now, as he's recovering, he's going to be put in a greater position to do the Most High's work, whatever it may be, for him. Thankful for that, man. The devil, in many instances and in many ways, continues to try to take us out. Sure, that like my life was almost taken this week. I'm driving on 495 coming back home from Virginia. And I'm in the passing lane, 4-lane highway, heading back up north. And there is a 18-wheeler in the lane right next to me, that third lane from the slow. Me and this dude is I'm doing about 60. The truck is right there with me, he's at least doing 60, 65 maybe. He's right there. But the way the highway, the portion of the highway, we're coming right over there, Branch Avenue, right out there. We coming right over Branch Avenue. There's a sincere slope when you come past the Branch Avenue exit. And when you do that, during this time of day, there was traffic. So I could see the red lights ahead of me. So I started coasting. I ain't hit the brake yet. I just started, took my foot off the accelerator because I'm seeing. Now, as I'm doing this, the 18-wheeler right next to me, he's still doing 60 to 65. But I'm thinking we're well enough distance away. These cars are at a crawl space, almost a stop. You can't really see till you up on them. This man continues to do about that speed up until at least 100 feet away from the cars that are slow to stop in front. I'm in the passing lane. This dude, without warning, without sound, the Most High had my spider senses on 100. Because as I'm driving, I just hear his back tire start to screech, and he just pulled over in my lane because my lane had the most space. He couldn't go to the second lane. He came over. As soon as I saw the front right nose of his truck going to my lane, I went onto the shoulder, and I just slammed my horn, just slammed the joint. And I was able to successfully get out of the way. Not only that, because it's an 18-wheeler, the car behind me had to get off on the shoulder too. We had enough space to do it. He went into my lane and then was able to slow down enough to almost come to a stop. And then he let us pass him on the shoulder and get back in front of him. Let me tell y'all something. I saw this as a possible way to take me out because there's nowhere for me to go. And if this truck had proceeded to stay in the third lane, he'd have killed the person. You're talking about a fully loaded 18-wheeler. He'd have killed whoever he hit. So he swerves into my lane. While I was driving, I remember just having the thought, like it almost happened within a couple seconds. It almost seemed like nothing happened. I was like, man, I could have taken him. He could have slammed into me and knocked me over the median. He could have done that, but he didn't. And I sat there and I thanked the Most High. I was like, man, even when I ain't paying attention, you alert me. He caused my senses to look up, look at the traffic, read it, and then be able to respond to the truck that before that I wasn't even paying attention to. Whole 18-wheeler flying. And I was just like saying, these types of instances where the Most High saves you, Most High most praise. Testimonies out the end. I know my brother got plenty of experiences on the busy highways where he was almost taken out as well. But this specific one that happened this week, man, in lieu of everything that had happened, I was just like, that was really trying that. He's been trying, but today, he just gave me another occurrence to have another testimony, man. Because I was like, man, this is so wild. It's like he wasn't paying attention. I'm talking about he was flying. The cars in front of him would stop. He'd have killed somebody. He'd have killed me or the car in front of him. But it didn't happen. All praise to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High, man.
All praise to the Most High. I'm so many testimonies. Last one again, I'm gonna pass the mic over. I got more, but I don't want to talk the whole time, man. I really appreciate my Bible study group. Really appreciate it. Reason why I say that is, man, my ankle been sprained and I've been just like manning through it, which is, like putting more pressure on it probably deserve. Had pain. I was like, man, I'm still doing what I got to do. Because I was sitting in the house all week with the leg elevated, and then I just hated that. I was like, man, I'd be out of the house at least once a day, moving around something. So when I went over there, man, Jennifer and Ruth, they got the ice pack out. They had my head foot up. They was giving me good counsel that I didn't want to hear. And Ruth called herself, massaging my ankle, digging her thumbs all down in the injury, man, making that joint sting. I was like, man, I was so upset. But then I was just sitting there. That joint is like, most I was like, let them do what is required, because you are not going to do it. They put lavender on the joint. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know about lavender. Jim was like, you need to put lavender. I know she watching. I know both of them watching. I'm just like, I really appreciate my sisters, man. And we should not rebuke good counsel when it comes from our women, man, like ever. And I know times I've done that. I just heard them. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then I walk out the door. I do the exact opposite. But it was a blessing to be in the discussion yesterday. Good old Meech came by. We had a good conversation. And he came back past my house afterwards. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about a couple things. Y'all be with Meech. You know what I'm saying? Be with his family. Powerful conversations, man. I'm thankful. I'm thankful because the Most High always sends you encouragement and what you need, even at the times you don't even think you need it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just powerful yesterday just to be able to send even Engine amongst them, talk about the word, talk about the current events of the world we living in, and reaffirm our faith in one another. Because those conversations, they go a long way. Those are the conversations that we would call back upon when we're in the midst of demonic attack in the middle of the week, or satanic attack, should I say. That stuff is powerful. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my sisters, Angie, she always taking care of us on the advertising end, y'all bless and take care of her and her family. And all the servants out there, the Most High, who go by unaccounted for and go by unnoticed. The silent things you do. I want to speak this word to you. Remember the verse, man. This just excites me when I found it. The scripture that talks about the things you do for, I know I ain't quoting this right, and I know somebody probably gonna text it to me. The things you do, it's like do good in secret. so that your Father who sees you in secret can reward you openly. Do not be like those who seek approval from men, like the Pharisees used to do back in the day, how the scripture said they love the best seats in the house and love to be called teacher and father and all that stuff. Don't be like them. They crave worldly attention. They crave adoration. Do the stuff that matters in secret, in the silence. And when the Father gives you glory, he sets you up to receive praise. In your humility, you bow your head and you shed your tears. And you know the reason why you're being honored right now is because you honor the Father. All that stuff. See, we can get rounds of applause and accolades and emails and text messages and clip likes down here. But when we do stuff in secret for the Father, for his name, and for his purpose, and to build his kingdom, we got angels applauding us up there. Unfallen beings applauding for us up there. You know what I'm saying? And that resonates. Because at the end of all things, that's what matters, not this. This is all passing away. We see the different things that's happening on our earth, the natural catastrophes, the iniquity, the wickedness that abound, the things that are possible today to do wickedly that were never possible when we growing up. Remember, you couldn't even cuss on a regular network channel when you growing up. Couldn't do it. They sure wasn't showing no sex scene. Now, cut on the TV, anything goes. Cut on the radio, anything goes. You know what I'm saying? We are living in a very different time and space right now, man. This stuff is passing away. The Father who's sitting on the throne sees all of this. Just like the conversation they had in Enoch when the four angels was like, hold up. We see man down there perverting his way, going left, right, this way, and the third. We know that you are Elohim over all this, and you didn't create man for this purpose. And you ain't told us nothing yet. What's going on? And they asked the Father, and then, I love how it enters, because then the word says, and then Yah spoke. Hey, yeah, it's a serious thing when the Father speaks.
But you look at that. What I thought was amazing about that, they acknowledged the issue. They did, and they wanted to put some work in. They couldn't do nothing to the Most High instructions. I mean, when you gonna give us some instructions? Yes. When are you gonna tell us what to do? We know what we want to do, right? When are you gonna tell us what we have to do or what we're going to do? You know what I'm saying? And look, that's I don't know what.
No. I mean, I want you to keep going on that, because think about what you just said. The fact that these are all powerful angels. These are among the first seven. The first seven after Saturnalia. The Saturnalia was the first created. After them, we got Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Penuel. I believe he's the third one. I believe he's the fourth one. I'm sorry. Who was maybe Uriel, one of them. Uriel. They were the ones who had this conversation amongst themselves. These are the seraphim. Not the cherubim or the ophanim, who are the cherubim and then the wheels that we have in Ezekiel. Those are the ophanim. These are the seraphim, the top ones. They'd be right there next to the Father. They're like, oh, we've seen your way too many times. We know we have a glimpse of your wisdom and glory, just how close we are to you. You usually have instructions for us right about now. You ain't said nothing yet. And then right after that, when he spoke to each one of them individually and told them what to do. He told Michael to go down there and give a sword to the seed of the watchers and have them destroy themselves. He told Raphael to go down there and lay chains on the watchers and put them in bondage. And one of them, he told, I can't remember the other two instructions that he had for the other ones, man, but he gave specific instructions to each of those four angels that had, of course, eternal reverberations, because the actions in which he told them to do, they haven't been overturned to this day. They went to complete fulfillment, because nothing comes out of him and comes back to him void. Whatever he commands is going to happen. And I love the fact that the way they looked at that, I try to carry myself the same way. If I'm in a situation to where I cannot reason within my human wisdom of what in the world is happening, like this whole thing with this COVID, how some PhDs and doctors are saying, take it. Then we have some PhDs and doctors like, oh no. And then we have different groups and different collections of people who are doing it and who are not, because there's so much confusion on both sides. My resource, I'm going to go back to the source of truth, the Father of truth. I said this yesterday to Meech. I was like, if the devil is the father of lies, then who's the father of truth? It's simple. It's black and white, left or right. There's no gray area. The Father is truth. You go to him, he ain't going to leave you stumbling. He's going to test you to see if you're authentic and ask him the questions that you got for him. He's gonna see if you're real, because he knows if you are. That's the funny thing. He's gonna test you to see if you're authentic or not. He already knows if you are or not. He knows how much pressure, how much test to give you to get you to be authentic. You can't go to him with no wavering mind, no left, right. What is it saying, James? A man who is unstable, a man who is double-minded is unstable in all his ways. Don't be double-minded going into the Father, ever. And if you are double-minded, pray to him so that you will not be double-minded. Before you go to him about everything, he'll fix you up. He certainly will, man. And I sit here and I give him all praise and all honor, because any relative fear that I might have had over any one of these issues that we're speaking about, whether what's going on in Afghanistan, what's happening in the world as far as like how soon we may be to war, these natural catastrophes that happen on a day-by-day basis, and the many atrocities that we never hear about that are occurring all over this world. I can go to my Father and know for a fact and for a surety that I'm on his side and I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be covered and protected, as I continue to be. And there's been nothing to dissuade me from having that mindset in these last days. Nothing. What you got? You found something?
I mean, you paint the picture what was going on when the four angels basically asked the Most High, what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
The watchers had already did their thing with the women, correct? The giants was already moving around, eating flesh,
killing everybody,
and just crushing stuff. And basically, these four angels is like, you're just gonna watch your perfect creation be marred, not just the physical bodies of men, but the earth itself. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they was just being beyond destructive. But see, what I'm pretty sure Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael weren't privy to was the fact that Yahweh was already planning a flood. Mm. He was already constructing how he was gonna go about destroying them, but they rushed. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Leave the Father alone. He know what he's doing. Man, can you please tell us? Can you please give us some instructions to do something? And he didn't flat out tell him to go down there and destroy everything. He said, Michael, go get a sword to them. Mm-hmm. They can destroy themselves. Right. I thought that was interesting. You think about Job, right? And thinking about Brent, thinking about myself, thinking about your ankle, my foot, you know what I'm saying? My breathing situations, your allergies to whatever it may be. The first thing, now we know from the apocryphal book, Testament of Job, that there was an image set up outside of Job's house. Yeah. Was it a Baal? I don't know. Did it specify who this image was of? Was it Baal?
I cannot recollect it specifically who was of.
But it was an image. It was an image. You know what I'm saying? And Job wanted to destroy this image. And we most high sent an angel. Let him know, look, if you do this, I'm paraphrasing, the enemy gonna be on your back. Yeah. Time gonna be on your back. He said, man, it's whatever. He went out there and destroyed the junk. Now, I'm looking at the 66. I mean, I got my apocryphal book. This is my bad. You consider what happened, right? Consider what happened to Job. And I'm going to read it out of the Tanakh. You know what I'm saying? Not the whole first and second chapter. I mean, could, because it's not that long. But when you consider there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. The man was wholesome and upright. He feared Yahweh and shunned evil. 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. His possession consisted of 70,000 sheep and goats, 3,000 camels, 500 pair of cattle, 500 she-donkeys, and very many enterprises. That man was the wealthiest man of all the people in the East. Mm-hmm. Now, we learn in the Ultimate Apocrypha that he was an Edomite king, right?
He was a king. He was an Edomite king. He was an Edomite king. He was an Edomite king.
That's not in the 66. Right. He was an Edomite king.
It's also not in the 66. God told him what was going to happen before it happened. Everybody thinks that they just dropped this on Job.
Right. See, that's why it's good to get these books that we become from so you can fill in the gaps. Right. You know what I'm saying? But so the sons would go and make a feast at each one's home, each on his set day, and they would send word and invite their sisters to eat and drink with them. to eat and drink with them. When each cycle of feast days had ended, Job would send to summon them. Job would send to summon them. He would rise early in the morning and bring as many burnt offerings, he would rise early in the morning and bring as many burnt offerings as the number of them all. For Job said to himself, perhaps my children have sinned and blasphemed Yahweh in their hearts. Thus would Job do all the days. It happened one day, angels came to stand before Yahweh, and the Satan too came among them. Yahweh said to the Satan, from where have you come? The Satan answered Yahweh and said, from wandering and walking about the earth. Yahweh said to the Satan, did you set your heart to take note of my servant Job? There is no one like him on earth, a wholesome and upright man who fears Yah and shuns evil. This is what I thought was interesting right here. The Satan answered Yahweh and said, is it for nothing that Job fears Elohim? Have you not set a protective wall about him, about his household, and about everything he owns from all around? You have blessed his handiwork, and his livestock have spread throughout the land. Look at what this joker said to the Most High. But send forth your hand and touch everything that is his, and see if he does not blaspheme you to your face. He said he said the Most High, send forth your hand, but look at what the Most High said. Yahweh said to the Satan, behold, everything that is his is hereby in your hand, but do not send forth your hand against his person. That's what the Most High responded right here, this first go round. And in one day, the Satan ain't waste no time. Now you read that for yourself. I mean, he crushed everything. You know, that's how bad the enemy really wants to destroy us. He got at everything that was affiliated with Job. Apparently, except he left some servants, you know what I'm saying? Somebody had to come tell Job what was going on. But he said, send forth your hand. Now, was the Satan or the Shaitan acknowledging in that moment that he himself is still a servant of the Most High, even in this fallen state? But he's just a worker of it's got to be punishment for the crime. He said, send forth your hand. Yahweh said, behold, everything that is his is hereby in your hand. He told him to send forth his hand. He said, everything's in your hand. Because I ain't not destroying. Right. You know what I'm saying? According to send forth your hand, it's capital yours. So he's talking about the Most High's actual hand. But did the Most High send forth a lion spirit or something, a spirit, a volunteer to make a move? That was another instance. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is there's permission. You got to get permission. But there are agencies of evil. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, the principalities, powers, is in high places. So there's a hierarchy. There's a system set up. He can't make a move without permission. And they are subject to the Most High. They can't make a move without God's permission. But what did he tell him? He said, but do not send forth your hand against his person. Everything that is his is hereby in your hand, but do not send forth your hand against his person. As I read it. Then the Satan then departed from the presence of Yahweh. It happened one day when the sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the home of their eldest brother. The messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the she donkeys were grazing alongside them. When Sabians befell and seized them, they struck down the servants by the edge of the sword. Only I by myself escaped to tell you. This one was still speaking, and another one came in and said, fire from Yah came down from the heavens and burned them under sheep and servants and consumed them. Only I myself escaped to tell you. Another one, while he was still speaking, said, when the other one came and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 divisions and deployed around camel seeds. Basically, everything Job had, including his children, was taken from him in one day, except them 3 or 4 servants, or however many people came and told him what was going on. But this is what kind of tripped me out, because in chapter 2, it said it happened one day. The angels came to stand before Yahweh, and the Satan came too. And the Satan came among them to stand before Yahweh. Yahweh said to the Satan, where is it that you are coming from? Like he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? The Satan answered Yah and said, from wandering and walking about the earth. Yahweh asked the Satan, did you set your heart to take note of my servant Job. For there is no one like him on earth, a wholesome and upright man who fears Yahweh and shuns evil, and he still maintains his wholesomeness. You incited me against him to destroy him for no reason. Right? He said, you incited me against him to destroy him for no reason. The enemy got mad because Job was blessed.
Yeah.
And he was like, the only reason he don't curse you is because you protect everything he got. Send your hand to destroy him. So I was like, man, that's my man. But since you think that's going to change something between us, go do what you do. You just can't touch him. Can't do nothing to him.
Right.
His person. You know what I'm saying? And here, when like he didn't remember their previous interaction, the Most High said the same thing.
Said the same thing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you been? I'm wandering back like he didn't know. He was just crushing his
like
man.
He didn't know.
You know what I'm saying? But he said, I just realized that just now. He was like, he said,
that means he didn't give no account of the stuff he has done because he knew it wasn't going to come to fruition anyway. Where you been?
What you been wasting your time doing out here? Thinking you doing?
That's wisdom. That's because a father will do that to the child. Oh man.
Yeah, watch you out the window the whole time, messing up.
What you been doing? What you been doing? Yo, I didn't even pick up on that until just there. Oh, that's
man, what does it say in the secret?
Which part?
Where it says, verse 3. Verse chapter 2 of Job.
Oh, chapter 2. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man that fears Elohim and eschews evil. And still he holds fast his integrity, although you move me against him to destroy him without cause.
That's the whole 3?
That's the whole 3.
Okay. I like how this reads right here. It says, there is no one like him on earth, a wholesome and upright man who fears Yahweh and shuns evil, and he still maintains, acknowledging the fact that even after what you did, what you thought was going to make him curse me, he still maintains his wholesomeness. You incited me against him to destroy him for no reason. And there's an exclamation point there. Yeah. You incited me to destroy him for no reason. For no reason. Satan answered Yahweh and said, skin for the skin of skin. Whatever that means. Skin for skin, yea, all that a man has, he will give for his life. This says skin for the sake of skin. I'm sorry. Okay. Skin for the sake of skin. Whatever a man has, he will give up for his life. But send forth your hand and incite the Most High again. Yeah. But send forth your hand and touch his bone and his flesh. You know what just came to my mind? What's up? This battle with Satan is the audacity to command God to do something. When did he do that before? He did that with Yeshua in the wilderness. Eat this bread, turn this jump off of this. He is always constantly, it's a leadership. He wants to command. He wants to command the Most High what to do. It's something. The Most High always rebukes. He's like, nah, you put your hand forward. He is always trying to get the Most High to do what he says. Now check it though. You're right. He tells him to do it. Yeah. And the Most High still takes responsibility for it. He reverses it and still. What did he say? He said, "You incited me against him to destroy him for no reason." Yeah. So he's taking ownership to all that the enemy did, Joe. Yeah. You incited me to do it. But I'm sitting here in awe of how boss that is. I'm thinking of again like a father-child. The son comes to me, why don't you get it? It's like, no, you go ahead and get it. And then if the child messes up, that's my fault. I take responsibility for what the child did. Because he is not in a position to govern or to command. I command, but I take responsibility because I got it anyway. I can handle the mess that you about to make. So you go do it. And whatever you do, that's wrong. Anybody come to me and say, why you let him do that? I allowed him to do it. And that's the answer that the Most High comes through with in chapter 38 of Job. When he finally speaks, he's like, man, where in the world were you? When I did this, that, when I created this, that, and the third. It's like somebody coming to the father's like, why you let your child do that? And then he getting on. And he's like, well, hold on, where were you when I created this? When I took care of it, when I put diapers on him, when I fed him with my y'all go ahead, man. I'm just getting revelations. It's all good. Go ahead. But look at what he tells him though. He said, Yahweh said to Satan, after he said, send forth your hand and touch his bone and his flesh, and surely he will blaspheme you to your face. Yahweh said to the Satan, behold, he is in your hand, but preserve his soul from death. That's how it's worded. This modern Hebrew translation is it says preserve his soul. Now in the 66, that part right there say, Yahweh said, and say, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life.
Yeah, that's what it says here too.
Don't kill him. That's why everybody concludes, he said, go do whatever you want to do, but you can't take his life. This says, behold, he is in your hand, but preserve his soul from death.
Oh, that means don't let the soul leave the body, because that's what happens when we go to sleep.
What do? You can't straight down here and smack it with boils.
Yeah, the topical. You see boils, it's on your skin. Ain't internal. Ain't like you're getting cancer.
It is.
Yeah, you hit it, you stink.
You're uncomfortable, you stink. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna make a person curse.
Oh,
but he did curse the day he was born.
He did.
I think that was he cursed the Most High. Now we know from the Apocryphal book what he really went through. That man went out and sat on a pile of doo-doo. He went right over the Blue Plains and jumped in all of that mess that be funking up all 295 as you roll through it. He was just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Joe, I don't know what his thoughts were, but I can imagine the enemy looking like he can't wait for him to say, man, I know he's gonna do it. I know he's gonna do it now. So like, man, Joe.
He has friends coming.
He's scratching and stinking, and his wife looked out for him too.
Oh, that's Paul. Let's Paul talk about that.
Y'all understand?
Talk about that,
all they say, Charlie said was
curse skin. Curse your God and die.
What did she say? Where is that? Where is that? What she said?
Yeah. The testament of Job is what we talking about. If you want to really know what Job's wife did and how she supported him, go look up the testament of Job. I think this is the only thing it said that she had to say. It's verse 9 of chapter 2. His wife said to him, do you still maintain your holiness? Blaspheme Elohim and die. Who do you think is speaking through her? You just saw them saying words come out the enemy's mouth. Came out the Satan's mouth. Put your, what he said, Satan answered said, skin for the sake of skin. Whatever a man has, he will give it for his life. But send forth your hand and touch his bone and his flesh, and surely he will blaspheme you to your face. The Most High said, he still maintains his wholesomeness. Satan said, let me touch his flesh and his bone, or you touch it, he'll blaspheme. Here goes his wife. His wife said, do you still maintain your wholesomeness? Blaspheme Elohim and die. That sounds like the enemy's words, taking the Most High's words. You still maintain your wholesomeness? Blaspheme Yahweh and go ahead and die. And coming from his support, this is the woman who bore him 10 children, who sees him constantly sacrificing for them in case they sin. There's no way you can tell me that if he is joined with this woman and he has the mindset to pray and be over his kids like that some of that ain't rub off on her. So she's not speaking in her proper spirit right now. And since that's all the 66 gives us, it gives us the interpretation when we study the story strictly out of that book that she was a bitch. I'm sorry to be so calm.
And didn't care.
And didn't care, which is not what happened at all. This woman shaved her head and sold her hair in the market and faced ridicule to and from the market for still standing by her man when she was heading out to the gate to check on him. Think about that. She live in a house. They got a residence.
Man, nice house too.
This dude is the king. He's an Edomite king sitting in front of the gate of his kingdom, stinking and smelling, and has his old pompous friends come over there and fake give him encouragement. So he's dealing with that. And now his last vein of support, the only thing we get from her in the 66 is this curse God and die. That's not what she did. She stood by that man. She supported that man. She uplifted that man. And then she got a vision that her children were all right. Because the angels came, that her eyes were open before the Most High. Again, the testament of Job. And she saw that the souls of her 10 children were fine. They were going to be taken care of. They were being attended to by the angels. When I saw that, bro, I was like, yeah. That changes my perspective of not only her, but the strength that he had to continue. Because imagine if she had came here, he probably like, you know what? Why not?
But look at what he said to her, and I feel like the Most High is saying that men, sometimes the enemy will use your wife to say something to you. She ain't do nothing. All her actions show her trying to help him. But according to this, she said something to him to try to throw him off, to try to make him curse the Most High and come out of his character. That ain't necessarily her. That's the enemy. Recognize that.
Man.
Clearly, you see the words that she used. We're straight from the enemy.
One more pause, man. I need to say the most I give y'all. Women, y'all
and vice versa.
Y'all's words to a man are extremely significant and powerful to carry a lot of weight. You speak life, you speak strength, and you speak encouragement. Because a man on the outer shell, he can shield himself from all that, but the internal of what you do to his belief, his courage, and his ability to be most that he can be, especially when it has to do with spiritual issues, can be greatly damaged by the words of a wicked woman. And the devil took that instance to use his primary source of encouragement. I'm thinking about the relationship. Now, this joint is deeper. He got a relationship. He used the prime person, his prime support, to just interject, curse God and die. You got to be able to hear that with the spiritual ear. And then I'm sure in his mind, he was probably like, at that point, he was just starting. So I'm probably at this point, he was like, that ain't her. That ain't her talking. I know my wife. That ain't her.
He said she talked like any impious woman. He said, you talk as any impious woman might talk. Furthermore, shall we accept the good from Elohim
Come on.
and not accept the bad? That's a very practical way of thinking. I tried to incorporate that into my mindset. How am I going to beef about something going wrong?
Yeah, man.
There's much good.
There's much good
that's taking place.
It shuts you
I'm
up.
still alive. There's nothing that can happen that's so bad.
Come on.
And I'm still breathing.
Most high, most praise.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that in all things give thanks and let it be well with your soul. Most high, most praise. All these things tie together. But what I would like people to really, what I got, especially with Brent being in the ambulance, feeling like he couldn't breathe, right? That's a very, well, you know this, because you had asthma. You know what I'm saying? What it feels like to not be able to breathe. I thought I was about to die plenty of times, and I cannot say every single time I call out to the Most High. I don't. Sometimes I just try to calm down. You know what I'm saying? Just try to steady my breathing, because I don't make it a point of boasting in the fact that I believe. Well, I've said what I said on this program before, but I think what I know the Most High showed me about me, what I'm gonna be in these last days. But if the enemy can get us to fear, if he can get us to fear, then he can get us to fall. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even if you end up falling anyway, don't be scared of hurting yourself when you hit the ground. You gotta get some cuts and some scrapes or some bruises. You can't go through this life perfect. You know what I'm saying? You don't even expect that. You gotta fall. Our first father fell and his wife. So what do you think is gonna happen? Come on. Our ancestors fell. Look at what happened to Job. He was allowed for every aspect of his life to be touched. But the thing about it is, Yahweh did it by way of the shaitan. Now that sounds crazy, but that's what the scripture teaches. He did it. Yahweh is like me, everything is a part of Yah's perfect will. When you look at it like that, it has to be. It has to be, because he ultimately takes it. Now, I look at it like this, everybody got a choice. We got a choice. You know what I'm saying? The shaitan got a choice. But his choice is to destroy. Steal, kill, and destroy. That's what he sold up as. That's what he is. He's a liar. There's no truth in him. He's the enemy of souls. He's an adversary of the Most High. His fate is sealed. But we got a choice in the matter, right? What he wants us to do is blaspheme the Most High and die. That's not gonna happen. I say that with all the confidence in my being. I would never curse the Most High. Ever. Blaspheme. I mean, for say blaspheme, taking his name, blaspheme, using his name in vain. That's what we were taught blasphemy means. But if it's like, man, there is no Elohim. Nah. I know he real. I know he rock with me. You understand what I'm saying? And his Mashiach, our Mashiach, Yahweh, I believe he's real, and I know the Ruach is real. And that's why we sitting in it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, there's a whole lot of other stuff that can be being done right now. The enemy's going to test you. Yahweh's going to test you by way of the enemy. That's just his job. You know what I'm saying? So don't get mad at the Most High when you lose your job, when you find out your kid got killed, when your marriage don't work. You know what I'm saying? When you get sick, or when you get in an accident. You You know what I'm saying? Thank him. And let that draw you closer to the source of life and the source of power. And it's gonna hurt. I don't know anybody that's ever fallen off a bike trying to learn how to ride it and said it felt good. What you about to say, bro?
I was giving the people my favorite verse to confirm everything you just saying, which is Colossians 1:16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. That's a wrap. If everything, he went, the reason why I love this one is because it uses the same language as Ephesians 6:12 when we talk about principalities and powers, the rulers of the darkness. You know what I'm saying? When those words are used in Ephesians 6:12, it is used again in Colossians 1:16. It says, he made everything, whether they be thrones, dominions, principalities, or powers. All things were created by him and for him. So if the enemy himself was created by him and for him, then it would make sense that he would use the enemy, as we've been discussing, to afflict Job. Because he told him, enemy came to him and said, why don't you hit him? Why don't you take him out? The father was like, no, I ain't doing all that. You can put your hand on him, but don't kill him. Second time around, you can put your hand, or no, you can put a hand on everything that is his except his person. That was the first time. The second thing was you can touch the person, but you can't kill him. So what he spoke, he allowed to happen because he made it who he was speaking to, and it was for him. And then also in the testament of Job, the angel tells Job, he's like, man, listen, if you complete this test, your name will live out through the ages. Every generation is going to hear about this test. He told him that beforehand. We don't get that from the 66. But Job had the gumption to stand up for the Most High as the king, to knock down an idol, to tear down an image. And then the devil went to get permission to touch him for that. Because everything was made for the Father, by the Father. So this virus, this whole COVID thing, all this nonsense going around, the covering is real. Because he knew it was going to come. He knew it was going to infect. He knows all. So if everything is controlled for him or by him, I ain't got no fear. No fear, man.
It's coming. It's coming. Tests. They already hit. They already hit. You know, yeah, last night I'm laying there, couldn't breathe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is. I know I should have been had a sleep study. I should have been. I should have been followed through. I was about to do it in the beginning of 2020. COVID hit. You know, everything got shut down. I just haven't reached back out to my primary care physician to get another referral. But I believe. I never forget my Uncle Melvin. He passed a while ago. He used to talk about a dream that he had. You know, it's like, man, you know. I think I told him, my brother, somebody was like, man, you know, when he's sleeping, like you feel pressure on his chest. So, you know, that's the demons. Those are demons trying to hold you down. That's how you know he was pretty animated guy. He helped me realize how real this demonic experience, this back and forth is. And he said the demon used to try to get him. Every time he used to come across the 11th Street Bridge, a demon of speed, trying to get him to go faster. Trying to beat his time. But he's like, man, I ain't no race car driver. He recognized that there was a thought coming into his mind. See if you can get home faster. See if you can get home faster. And I think one time he almost he got out. I think he heard it one time. He said he stopped on the bridge, got out. I hope I'm not lying, because I'm saying what this man told me wrong. It was a while ago when he told me, but the fact that he's expressed to me that he's interacting with this voice in his head, you know what I'm saying, that's telling him to do stuff, or that he feels pressure on his body and recognizes it to be a spirit. You know, like he said, man, you know, the devil, the Most High, right there waiting every morning when we wake up. Just want to see who you gonna pick. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you heard that. I used to hear that as a kid or whatever. But that pressure, see, Yahweh cannot, excuse me, Yah, the Shaitan cannot touch our souls. He cannot take our lives, even if we're allowed to leave. Right? I'm talking about us. I ain't talking about the rest of the world. There's a lot of effed up stuff happening to people around the world. Right? It is what it is. I'm not going to speak on that because my mother might get mad. But it's a lot of people experiencing a lot of stuff that it is what it is, like I said. But as far as us, you know, his chosen people, we gotta go through it. We gotta burn the dross off. He has to make it so we only looking to him. I'm talking about, man, we gotta get out of the mindset that mere man can save us. Any mere man can save us. So you look at what happened in chapter 4 of Job. Where you see let me see. Should I start? Because I don't want to confuse. So Eliphaz, the Temanite, then spoke up and said, if he tests you with one thing, will you become weary? Who can withhold his words now? Who can withhold his words now? Behold, you have rebuked many and have strengthened weak hands. Your words would stand up on who stumbled. You would brace buckling knees. And now, when it befalls you, you become weary. It touches you, and you are bewildered. Behold, was your fear of Elohim not your foolishness? And so too your hope and the wholesomeness of your ways. Remember, please, which innocent person ever perished? Where have upright people ever been obliterated? As I have seen those who plow iniquity and sow injustice harvest them. By the breath of Elohim they perish. By the wind of his anger they expire. The adult lions roar, the whelps cry, and the cubs teeth. The adult lions roar, the whelps cry, and the cubs teeth. All are lost. The mature lion perishes for lack of prey, and the lion's children are dispersed. Now he's trying to basically tell Job it's his fault, right? Mm-hmm. You know, because I don't really get all that, but it was down here. He said, a message superstitiously reached me. A message, what was that? That ain't superstitiously.
Verse 12?
Yeah. Surreptitiously.
Now a thing was secretly brought to me. That's what it says in mine. My ear received a little bit.
Surreptitiously. 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 Reach me, of which my ear absorbed a small portion. When thoughts are filled with nocturnal visions, when slumber falls upon men, fear came upon me, and trembling. It caused most of my bones to shudder. A spirit brushed my face. It made the hair on my flesh stand on end. It stood still, but I could not recognize its features. An image was before my eyes. I heard a faint whisper. Can a mortal man be more righteous than Elohim? Can a man be purer than his maker? If he cannot have faith, even in his servants, and find fault with his angels, then surely he does the same with those who dwell on clay houses, whose foundations is in the dust, who are crushed before maggots. That's a question, man. Can a man be purer than his maker? Look at what our example is, right? Look at how the Most High get down. He would love, I'm sure, he's anticipating when he can make things peaceful again on this planet, and when justice and righteousness will reign. But there comes a time when the mess that's been allowed to be made has to get cleaned up. And since he's responsible for it, he can be the one to clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Job wasn't doing nothing wrong. He wasn't doing nothing wrong. The enemy, well, the only reason he's wholesome, the only reason he's a good guy is because you haven't done anything to him. You haven't given him a reason to be. Now, we ain't Job. We ain't Edomites. We Israelites. You know what I'm saying? We cut a little different. We come from a different type of cloth. You see what our ancestors did. When you mess with our sister, we come through and kill every nigga in your city. All of them. Young and old. First, we tell them to circumcise themselves. Be like us. Put a little bit of pain on them. You know what I'm saying? Then we came through and crushed them. So when it's time for retribution, we get down a little different than some of the other tribal men and women. But Yahweh gonna have to be the one to flip the switch. See, that's why I admire, and I'm not saying I'm waiting to see the fire go out, but what you see in Meech, that's real. Oh no, that's it ain't nothing but. That's who he is. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? That's what he put in for. I'm a little different. Can be just as sadistic, but it's just under wraps right now. I try not to dwell in that place, because sometimes individuals will get burned, and they have nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? That fire is constantly blazing. But when Yahweh say burn them, when he says, when he pours, when he tips that cup of his wrath, he's going to operate in mercy and grace. What's going to happen when he starts operating on his enemies out of wrath? The Father, the creator of all things. You can't even imagine. It'd be easy. Snap his finger, everybody be gone. No. That's too easy. That's too simple. You did too much. You put in too much negative work for the Most High to give you an out that easy. Nah, it's going to be like peeling your fingernails off.
The fact that he has a cup that can be filled up. That means all while that cup is filling up, he's practicing long suffering and mercy. Like I've said before, man, when I read that Thomas Jefferson quote that's sitting up in his little memorial, he's like, man, I sit and I shudder to think that God's justice is long delayed for the atrocities this nation is committed. I know I ain't quoting it right, but he is like, judgment is surely coming. He said it there, and it's on the wall. It's inscribed in concrete. I read that. I was like, man, you ain't never said nothing more true than that.
And for people to know that, it's known.
It's known.
It's not. See, the thing of it is, and this is what I think is really pissing the enemy off, the fact that for us, right, waking up out of sleep is us coming away from what we grew up under, right? And by us, I mean me and this man right here. A lot of people who may profess to be woke, they have a clear understanding of history, racism or whatever in this country. And even with the 1619 project, you know what I'm saying, as far as like slavery being over, if you don't have that spiritual understanding, right, the Most High is not giving you a different lens to see this thing through, you borderline. You know what I'm saying? Because even look at the fact that the enemy went as far as to go into the instruction manual for the Most High's people and usurp himself as Yah, take out the image of the Most High, replace it with his own image and his own likeness of his choosing. And the majority of the people who profess to believe in what's written in this book don't see it or don't care to see it. All they want is what they've been taught and told by their oppressors and the enemy. Is mind blowing. But when you consider what the Most High did, right? He said he's never going to leave us nor forsake us. So when you think about the fact that the children of Israel wanted to be disobedient, but he chose them. They didn't choose the Most High. The Most High chose them. So what he told them was, I'm going to give you laws, statutes, and commandments you can't live by. But he didn't remove himself from being their Elohim. He just made it so they wouldn't really be able to reach him because they weren't trying to reach him while he was in their presence. So can you imagine the Most High? Just like he allowed the Shaitan to do what he did to Job. He's standing there, right? And in his infinite power, he chooses to veil himself. But he can't hide his presence, but he veils himself and allows the enemy to paint a picture of whatever he wanted. White, blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever, switch his name up. He allowed that. But by the time we get to Thessalonians, you talking about if you ain't been seeking, the game of hide and seek, I've used this analogy plenty of times. Somebody got to hide. And if you don't find him, you don't win. You know what I'm saying? Until he's found, the game is still going on. So it's ended for us because we found him. A lot of people out there, they think they found him because you see this image that he's allowed to be painted. But if you understand the scriptures, it tells you if you don't have a love for truth, you're going to receive this strong delusion. I'm going to send the strong delusion so you'll believe a lie. You are accessing the spiritual realm through incantations and words, prayers that we're taught to pray to this deity. It ain't really the Most High Yah. He's in it, but that ain't him. The book tells you that for itself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would love to see more people actually think about. What's really going on? Look at how many divisions there are in Christianity. Look how many different churches there are. There's only one Elohim. And he has one people that he picked. You know what I'm saying? And if any of these surrounding nations or whatever aren't willing to adhere to his laws, statutes, and commandments, then you ain't part of that people. Bottom line. There's no room to sugarcoat nothing, no more. And that's what's gonna make, nations rise up and people get mad and want to kill those who are speaking in opposition of the lie. It's a lie. It's a flat out lie. It's a fabrication. And my job is to call a spade, point at the lie and its root, its foundation. And that place it originated from is wrong. Anybody that studies this stuff knows that. They know. But you gotta study it. And if you seek the Most High Yah, you will find him. Trust me, he'll wash that whitewash paint off and show you who he really is, show you who his son really is, show you who his Ruach really is, and who his people really are. And life probably will get a little tough at that point. Yeah. So be it. In this world, you will have tribulations. Be a good shit. I wish I said I've overcome the world. But have we overcome the world in us? See, a person will make the mistake of thinking because you got these bad habits that you're evil. Look at what our ancestors used to do. That's not saying don't desire change, but it was the enemies of the Most High. You look at these Puritans, right? These European stuff that we did in our culture and our tribe, they didn't do. They didn't agree with the it's a European way of life that one man, one woman type thing. Probably a glass of wine at dinner. We drank. That's what we did, and we had women. And I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm talking about we haven't been taught our culture. Right. What came along, what our ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? The only reason they ain't still like that is because they turned their back on Yah. If they'd have kept the Most High first in their life, there'd be a whole lot of powerful, I'm pretty sure, extremely melanated skinned men over there with probably 8, 9 wives, 13, 14, 25 kids, you know what I'm saying? And enjoying a life of enjoyable labor, tending the land or whatever, dealing with his flocks and sheep. But this had to change because we changed. We switched up on the Most High. It allowed us to be taken over by our enemies. That's why we are the way we are now. Try to undo it. Reverse. Go back. Take away all the European, Eurocentric crap that's been programmed in our minds. And I ain't gonna say try to be an African, because we're not Africans. We Israelites. You know Africans when you see Africans. I'm not gonna do that. But you know an African when you see an African. Man, look, I'll never know. Throw a little human every now and then. First time I get to take. I was walking in the grocery store yesterday, and I knew what I was see when I bent the corner. Because you smell? I smell all armpit, right? Oh, I'm like, I'm in the grocery store, it's about a meat. And the John like, what in the work? As soon as I bend the corner, two jokers putting chips up. I know where you got from. You got from here, Sean. Because they got this something, it's like they don't want to use deodorant for some reason. The whole family funky little jokers one day. I'm sorry. I'm back.
Yeah, that joke is pungent, boy.
But at the table,
it's pungent. Hey, real quick, I gotta mention it because she's coming back to my mind now. And this for the closing prayer whenever you get around to it, man. Keep my Aunt Christine Trammell in your prayers. She's the youngest girl in the family. She was born right before my father. I had a good conversation with her this morning, man. And the Most High used me to confirm a lot of things that He has told her in spirit, and she is right on track. She's like, man, we got to remember where we come from. I told her, just point blank, we Israelites. She's like, doggone right, we the children of Israel. And she said it with such conviction. She's like, I don't agree with this vaccine. There's some things in my spirit that won't let me be okay with it. And a lot of the people who are saying they're not taking it are seeing the exact same thing. So I'm leaning on God. And He gonna tell me. And when she started talking like that, she broke down crying in the midst because my Aunt Christine is going through a lot of trials, dog. A lot. And I ain't even gonna get into her business, but the Most High has brought that woman a mighty long way. She has stayed firm. She has the memory of an elephant, and the spirit of the Most High rests upon her because whenever she gets to talk about something spiritual, how lucid and articulate she becomes in the drop of it. Like 1 minute she'll be speaking about 100 different things. She'll be all over the place. But when she starts talking about scripture, she slows down. She's incredibly articulate and lucid, and it comes out. It's noticeable. Mm-hmm. You'll just be talking to me and say, "Yeah, baby," and I talked to this person the other day, and this woman called me. She'll just be all over the place. But then they said, when I read his word, and she'll just slow down. And she'll start talking about the fact that she listened to my grandfather all the time. She said, "I don't listen to nobody but your grandfather. Listen to all his sermons all the time." He's like, he can make everything crystal clear. After you heard him break down something in scripture, there's no way that you can say you don't understand. Because he just made it clear. And that's what the Most High told my granddad. He said, "I'm going to help you make truth clear. But I want you to keep her in prayer because the enemy is attacking her mind. And when she's not lucid and when she's not clear and taking talking about, it weighs on her. She starts crying. She says, I can't remember to tell you things I've always wanted to tell you." But when I spoke to her this morning, she shot me a text afterwards. She said, "It really blessed me to be able to converse with you like that. And I hope we can do it again." And after that, I was like, yeah, most I ain't done with her. In the particular phase, she has a daughter who she has several children out of wedlock. One of them is homeless. The other one is in prison. Both daughters. They both got kids that she takes care of. And it's like, she just be going through it, man. I just keep her, if nothing else, keep Christine Trammell lifted up in prayer, man. And I'm bringing her story up because I know there are people out there who are going through similar things to where you try to articulate yourself and you say what's on your mind. You feel like everybody you speak to is just not getting it. They're not seeing or hearing. And then you also may have the inside of the thought that these people might think I'm on something. Because she says that to me. She said, I talk to a lot of people, but, they think something's wrong with me. And I'm like, listen, Aunt Chris, and it is alarming, not alarming, but it's striking how many things her and I agree on that are spiritual. Spiritually based, can be found in scripture, and it's simple and plain. And she understands. She understands what the word is. She understands the spirit of the Most High. And just keep her in prayer, man. It was a really good conversation I had with her this morning, but I know she's going through it, man. For real.
Christine Trammell.
Mm-hmm. Aunt Chris.
That's what man. It's time for us to take our hands off the wheel and let the Most High do what He's going to do. It would behoove you to be on the right side, but regardless, it's going down. Mm-hmm. And we don't have any control. And to me, that's a beautiful thing to see what was written down thousands of years ago in regards to the people sitting in this room. It's come to fruition. That's ain't nothing like it. Nothing's by mistake. Not that, seeing how Jennifer appreciated that interaction. Like, I believe after you left, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Jackson came with her, and Misha got a chance.
Yeah, right.
And it confirmed some stuff to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she saw her father, I guess, receiving something from Misha that he may not have gotten from her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And her role, whether it's to actually get her father to see or not see, could have very well just been bringing a person on the scene who has the capability. Because if it wasn't for her, we would have never met the Jacksons. They, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Jennifer and Candace, Candace is one of the guys that come to Breath.
The
Breath of Life? No, Brinkler. What's it? Blazeburg. That's all Blazeburg in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So had that not happened, or had that study not took place, the roof came, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta see it. All this stuff happens for a reason. And let's tie back around to Joe. Here's three homies coming, right? Here's three homies coming. This was my favorite part about this story. These three other kings, I believe the kings. Mm-hmm. They come and try and talk, and whatever, you read the story, you'll see what they were saying to him. But ultimately, Joe prayed for his three friends and the Most High saved him. Mm-hmm. So you can look at it like this. Had the Most High never asked the Shaitan to consider myself with Job, and the Shaitan jumped out there, man, only reason he listened to everything is he protected my body, even when he took his kids or whatever. Had that not happened, Job would not have went in the morning, which would not have brought his friends around, which would not have made Job pray for him, which would not allow him to be saved by the Most High. Sometimes the BS we go through, heartache and the pain, it's really for somebody else.
Come on, man.
But we gotta be, that's what we are. That's what we got to be. And understand, it's in us to be that. We built for it. We built for it.
Stand strong.
Hey, stand in it. Welcome it. Tell the Most High thank you for allowing me to lose out on that so that this person can, and your reward is going to be greater.
That's true.
If you believe it. If you don't believe it, man, go kill yourself. No, I don't believe it. I probably should not have said that. Somebody might be depressed. Don't kill yourself. Life is definitely worth living. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. Don't kill yourself. Don't do it. Pray. I pray for you. You need anything else? You good. Ow, boy. Most High Yah, thank you for allowing your Ruach to be present with us today in the studio. As you do with Brad's aunt, Christine Shamel by name, Yah. Cover her with your spirit, open her eyes to receive your truth, the only truth that there is. Now, you know what we're struggling with as individuals, you know what our families are going through. Clearly, our families aren't off limits. That's one of the main ways you allow us to be tested, by allowing our families to go through stuff. Help us to be of a mind to pray for our families, like Job was impressed to pray for his children and those of his household. We know what's going on around us. We know what time we're living in. Fortify us with truth, strengthen us, prepare us, steady us for what's going to take place. Open our minds to be vigilant and capable mentally to process what's actually going to have to take place for your word to be fulfilled, because your word will not return unto you void. Be with the different aspects of this studio. Thank you for those who you sent to help us along the way. Be with the study group, be with Maxine, Ruth, Jennifer, Candace, Meech, Bradley, myself, and Mahala, anybody else that has sat at the table with us, break bread. Continue to be with Brent as he's recovering from COVID. Be with Darren, whatever he got going on in his life. Be with the Bonner family. Now you know what's going on in town, Father, and you know how the enemy loves to jump in and out of these youngins and try to create madness. Thank you for protecting your daughter who was in that car that got hit 40-some times and she just got her arm braced. So that's how we know it's not our time, it's not our time. But Yah forbid, if somebody would have been in that car who it was meant for, well, I just move. But I don't even know how to pray about that, because I'm like, just protect those of yours who need to be protected. And for those who choosing to rock with the enemy, destroy him with extreme presence. That's about the only way I can put that, Father. Thank you for picking us to do this. Be with us on to this week. Continue to help both myself and Brad's ankle and foot heal. Thank you for the healing that you've already bestowed upon us. Save us from ourselves when you return. In Yahushua's name.
Amen. Most High, most praise. This has been Real Talk 101, The Devil Exposed, on Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. Until the next time we meet, may the Most High bless and keep you.
See truth, not the traditions of men.
Where?